when you get like a symptom,
Yeah.
it's really your body's way of whispering to you, like something is off, like come home and listen. So much of the time we are on autopilot. We're just going through the motions of the day. We're not listening to our body.
And so much chaos we can't hear.
For me, this week particularly, it was just an area of my life I was misaligned. I was doing too much in, and it was causing me to be out of balance and out of sync of like my real true essence and where I could really show up for my life. So once I saw that though and honored it, it was amazing. Like my body softened.
Yeah.
My spirit felt seen.
Yeah.
Right? Like I didn't feel inflamed. My gut wasn't in knots.
Yeah.
So it's things like that sometimes. It sounds very woo, but we are more than a meat suit of a body.
Yeah.
We are energetic spiritual beings. And that is a part of our health and vitality. Yeah. And tuning into that and touching into that is such an important part of longevity.
Yeah.
All of it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Her Table, Her Rules. I'm Juliet Peters, your host, and we have Lindsey Burwell with us today. And she has invented this phenomenal thing called the patch method. And we're going to talk about that and women's health, how she sort of came to be doing this. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I like every great story of any woman begins, right? This really began with a personal journey for you, right? So explain how sort of your own health journey led you to kind of come up with this.
Oh my gosh, yes. I like to say that pain has a way of dissolving the ego, right? Pain and suffering has a way of really getting you back in alignment with your truth and what really matters. And for me, my pain started when I was in my 20s. I had debilitating gut issues, chronic inflammation, gut issues, hormone chaos, anxiety problems, and I would go to doctors wanting help.
Yeah.
And every time I went, my labs were normal.
Yeah.
And they would tell me, oh, just, take a vitamin.
Yeah.
And I felt so unseen. And I knew I wasn't dying, but I knew something was off.
Yeah.
And so I made it my life mission to really heal my body at the cellular level and to learn what it takes to do that. And when I started going through that process, I started noticing not just my body shifting, my health, my clothes changing, but I started noticing that I started showing up for my life.
Yeah.
I was waking up with energy. I was waking up with passion, excitement. I noticed I had more capacity to love, to hold space. I started dreaming again. And it was that shift that made me realize I am here to help other women get back into alignment, to get their power back and start showing up for their life. And so on that journey, what happened was I was working with women and I started noticing a pattern. And in my human design, I'm a projector. So I see things people don't see and then I go into like problem solving.
Yeah.
So I started noticing a pattern where women were taking like a mortgage payment of vitamins, right? Everything that Instagram sells you. And they did not feel good. You know, they're like, I am exercising, I am eating healthy, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't feel great. I wake up, I'm going through the motions, I'm going on autopilot. I am not living up for my life, And the interesting part was that we would do their labs. So we would do different bioanalytics, whether it be hair follicle analysis, urine analysis, blood analysis. And I would see their labs. They would actually be deficient in a lot of the vitamins they were actually taking. And so we would be having that conversation of, your B vitamins are low, your antioxidants are low. This is driving thyroid decompression, things like that. And they're like, well, I'm taking this vitamin. Well, I'm actually taking this. I'm eating these foods. And so it got me thinking, this is not a vitamin problem. This is an absorption problem.
Yes, exactly.
And are you absorbing, right? And so then I went to research, well, how do you absorb a vitamin? What's the process? So when you take a vitamin, your liver has to break it down and then your gut has to absorb it. And if you have any interferences in those pathways, let's say heavy metals, toxins, EMS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, think of the world we live in today and all the exposure that we're exposed to.
Microplastics,
all of it. We're living in a world so far away from the world we were designed to live in, right? Modern technology, it's all beautiful, but what's happening is our body, our liver is working 3,000 times harder than it's ever had to work. So that is down-regulating absorption and bioavailability, and then your gut has to absorb it.
Yeah.
So think of, anyone I always hear like, I feel so bloated, I feel inflamed, I had that issue. So if you have any microbial imbalance, then you're not going to be absorbing appropriately.
Yeah.
So then I went to, okay, what else is out there that I could help these women I'm working with?
Yeah.
And then I found transdermal delivery. And this is a science and technology that's actually been around a long time.
Yeah.
So think birth control patch,
Right.
nicotine patch,
Yep.
hormone creams, estrogen creams.
Yep.
Magnesium gel, right? And I noticed some options out there, but there wasn't anything that I was obsessed with for my clients because I focused on detox pathways and metabolism and metabolic pathways. So I was like, I really need like a detox patch because ultimately, if we can detox our liver, that'll support over 500 functions in your body, including thyroid hormones, micronutrient storage, metabolism, all of that. So I was like, I want a detox patch and I want like a metabolism patch. So I didn't see what I needed in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work to find a formulator, like who specializes in transdermal.
Yeah.
And then a manufacturer that can really take this and specialize in getting it into the body.
Yeah.
So transdermal, all it is it's getting right into the bloodstream via the skin, our
Via the
largest
skin,
organ,
right. Mm-hmm.
bypassing your gut and liver.
Yeah.
So more bioavailable.
Yeah.
So, just kind of went to work, never had experience in product development, just learned daily, like relentlessly on like what was required to take a step forward every day to create this product really for my community, for my clients. I didn't have like a global takeover strategy. It was just something to help the women I was working with, even a tool for my family. Like my daughter and I, we both have MTHFR gene mutation, which means we don't methylate and detox well.
Mm-hmm.
So we experience, we can like detox issues very easily, inflammation, chronic fatigue. My daughter had vaccine injury, heavy metal that were stuck in her body showing up in dark circles under her eyes. So I wanted a tool even for her. So we created the patch method, and this launched a little over a year ago. We actually just celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was so fun. Yeah. So we launched it. And again, I did not have like a global take over the world vision. But what happened was my community, my women that I worked with one-on-one or met at workshops, they were using the product, trying it. We were getting testimonials by the day, Oura Ring data, literally messages every day of how it made them feel, waking up feeling less inflamed, more energy, hormone shift, all of that. And so this year has been a year for me to really learn how to get this out to more people.
Yeah.
And it's been just an amazing experience.
Yeah. When you sort of had this health issue and you kind of dived into sort of the science behind it and how you could heal yourself, what sort of work were you doing, and how has that transmitted into the business that you're building? Obviously, this is a product that you're launching, but also, before the product, there was a service, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, for me, it was literally detoxing.
Yeah.
Once I learned how important our liver was, and our liver is so critical. And sometimes we think our liver, oh, I don't smoke and I don't drink, so my liver is probably fine.
Right.
The problem is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the rising cause of chronic destruction in our body because our liver is responsible for over 500 functions in our body. And if it is not flowing, if it is not working optimally, then it's going to downregulate those systems and it's going to touch every part of you. So sometimes in health, we think oh, I don't feel good. Is it my hormones? Is it my gut? Is it my metabolism? We want to like isolate our symptoms, but really our body doesn't work in a vacuum. It works synergistically together. And so for me, I went first head down into detoxing.
Yeah.
So I started removing the things that were causing inflammation in my body, really trying to eliminate things like plastics, heavy metals, making simple swaps from, the utensils I was using, the cookware I was using, the foods I was buying, less seed oils, right?
Yeah.
Starting with the basics, the foundation, medications, getting better quality sleep, honoring circadian rhythm, getting good hydration and get protein, fiber, things like that. So that was like the foundation. And I started noticing great shifts there. And then I was starting to really support blood sugar, you know, and really thinking about our body and how in America we are so overfed, but we have high glucose
under nutrient, overfed and under nutrient.
Yes, and it's like we're snacking all day. We're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and it's elevating our blood sugar to where it's keeping us in a state of glucose burning. And we're not tapping into fat stores. We're not getting into autophagy. We're not letting that glucose come down so our body can go through that cellular cleanup and kill off those inflamed cells. So I started practicing, you know, some gentle fasting, really being mindful of, you know, am I snacking and grazing? What kind of foods am I getting? Is my body getting rest in order to repair? And so just really implementing those tactics and, you know, getting into more biohacking like red light and sauna and cold plunging. And really, truly, like the most transformational work is the mindset work. And the mindset work of like really trusting my body that it's not broken and trusting my body that it can heal and that it's incredible and that it's on my side and cleaning up my thoughts and beliefs to align it into that vitality. I think that is such a easy part to miss. Sometimes we think we just need to do more or eat less or take more vitamins or something, you know, the more, but sometimes it really is just our thoughts about our body, you know, and how we show up in that. And so that was really kind of some of my little internal homework that I did that was really important.
It's also, I think that as women, you know, their science, medicine is just starting to study how women's bodies work. That's shocking in 2026, but it's absolutely a fact. And so women metabolically are a lot more complicated than men. Our hormone health is the driver of so much of what ends up happening, right? And it's not only becoming your own sort of physician in a lot of ways, finding partners in the community, medical, naturopathic, whatever you're, you know, but it's becoming sort of an advocate really for yourself. And you know your body better than anyone. Right?
100%. I always say our intuition, that little nudge, you know, when you get like a symptom, it's really your body's way of whispering to you, like something is off, like come home and listen. Even for me this week, like I had earlier part of my week, I was really agitated. I was easily annoyed at very simple requests, little things that normally wouldn't bother me. I knew I had some restriction and frustration inside. There was resistance, right? And it was my intuition, my inner knowing, wanting to speak to me, like wanting to tell me something. And so much of the time we are on autopilot. We're just going through the motions of the day. We're not listening to our body.
So much chaos we can't hear.
So much
chaos.
Yes. And you can't, like when your body's trying to speak to you, and it literally can speak to you through inflammation, through gut issues. It can speak to you through headaches and migraines. Right? Disease is really just a manifestation of like your body unwell somewhere, imbalance in your body. It's manifesting physically because it's not coming out, and it's just trying to get your attention. And so when we can slow down enough to listen to, okay, body, like what is going on, right? And what are you needing right now? For me, this week, particularly, it was just an area of my life I was misaligned. I was doing too much in, and it was causing me to be out of balance and out of sync of like my real true essence and where I could really show up for my life. So once I saw that though and honored it, it was amazing. Like my body softened. My spirit felt seen, right? Like I didn't feel inflamed. My gut wasn't in knots. So it's things like that sometimes. It sounds very woo, but we are more than a meat suit of a body. You know, we are energetic spiritual beings, and that is a part of our health and vitality. And tuning into that and touching into that is such an important part of longevity, all of it.
I think it's really interesting because I myself just came out of a health scare.
Yeah.
And I think what I have learned through that process, I've always been a self-advocator.
Yeah.
And I also know when things are off.
Yeah.
And for me, this is a heart health issue.
Yeah.
And it's, genetic.
Yeah.
And had I known what I know now,
Yeah.
right, I would have gone down a whole different road.
Yeah.
But it was pushing,
Yeah.
because for me, for example, I, for a long time, probably 20 years, have had elevated cholesterol.
Yeah.
The healthier my diet got, the worse my cholesterol got,
Yeah.
right? So there was a disconnect there.
Yes. And so what did you find out about that?
So I have, was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal. It was a guy who was like a high-level athlete
Yeah.
and had sort of this same thing where he had this really high cholesterol, and it turns out I have a genetic thing called a lipo-A, ApoB gene.
Yeah.
And a simple blood test.
Yeah.
Nobody ever offered it to me till I asked for it myself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I, it's all worked out,
Yeah.
but it was a lot more complicated and difficult road. Had I had this conversation with my doctor 10 years ago, we might be in a different place. So I agree with your idea that, there's a mental component to our physical vitality.
Yeah.
There is a hormone component. Women are notoriously underdiagnosed for heart issues, notoriously underdiagnosed for all kinds of hormone issues,
Yeah.
right? I mean, look at how many years we were told we couldn't take estrogen supplementation.
Oh my gosh, I know. This is still one, though, I feel like we're fighting up again.
We are fighting, although
Yeah.
I have to tell you, as someone who also uses an estrogen patch,
Transdermal.
because we're very, very upfront on this to talk about that. But, I was struggling the last month to get my prescription, and I finally asked the pharmacist. I'm like, what gives here? Why is this? There's a shortage. And they said because they're removing the black box warning that has been on estrogen for all these years that said, you could die of breast cancer, right?
Yeah.
Not that obviously there are women out there who are have estrogen reception and cannot take estrogen supplementation.
Yeah.
So for those women, that is a fact. But I think we were, because again, not studied on the right way and not studied, so, I mean, I love this idea that because there are so many points in your life where your hormones particularly are causing you to leach things like vitamin D, for example.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in the thick of perimenopause and premenopause, and I went and my vitamin D was like at 7 or something, way low. And I'm going, what the heck happened, right? So, I mean, I love this idea of, of getting this through a patch, because I think it is a very effective delivery system.
It's such an effective delivery. I mean, doctors will prescribe the estrogen cream or patch over the pill because they know how much gets broken down by the liver, and they can't control dosing as well. They don't know how much you're actually going to absorb or what is going to be broken down. But no, I totally agree. I mean, we have to be our best advocate.
Absolutely.
How many of us listening, I'm sure, have gone to the doctor, something feels off.
Right.
This happened to me. You're fine. Labs are fine. And you walk away totally not feeling seen, and then questioning your own inner wisdom. You're like, maybe I am making this up. Maybe I'm crazy, and no, when you get those promptings, you follow through.
Absolutely.
You figure it out and be your own, researcher, best advocate. Doctors are incredible. There's so many incredible people in this world, but there's not one person all knowing. You can't put doctors on a pedestal for your health. They don't know everything about you. They haven't spent your life with you.
They're not walking in your body either.
Exactly. They only know what they learned in school that they gravitated to based on their own experience and their own, their own passion and interest, really. And you go to 3 different doctors, they might tell you 3 different things. So that's where, get a second opinion too. I've had to learn that a couple hard ways. second opinion is a must, but also like don't distrust that itch of like something's off.
Absolutely.
And I love that you kept grinding into that.
I did. I grinded and grinded and grinded
I'm
and
so
ended up
glad.
with, I had just had a procedure 3 weeks ago for a stent.
Proud of you.
I
You're
had,
here crushing
am.
it.
I had
You're
a
crushing it.
95% blockage, which none of the tests sort of indicated, and no symptoms. None.
Wow.
So, just
Wow.
went all over France, climbed towers,
Yeah.
But I think that the point here is at many times of my life, you have to be your own advocate.
You have to.
And you have to find there are medical professionals out there who do listen, who do take you seriously, but you might have to go through some to find it. And it's great to have a team, someone who is, a functional medicine doctor and is looking at root cause, somebody who, is taking other approaches. Nurse practitioners are phenomenal. They take a lot of time with people. They have a lot of the latest research. I mean, I think having really looking at your health holistically is really critical.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going and meeting with different people, knowing, again, everyone's going to have their own point of view based on their own experience and getting a second opinion. I had a crazy experience with this where I did not get a second opinion and it costed me a lot. I was actually diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma cancer and the diagnosis was so intense. And what was odd was they gave it to me via pathology. They said, based on pathology, this is a stage 4 melanoma. It's likely in your lymph nodes, et cetera. But I requested a DNA testing to be done on the mole as well through 2 different companies. Those reports came back benign. So the DNA at the cell was saying it's non-cancerous, but they wouldn't go off of that. They would only go off the pathology. So I was rushed into MD Anderson Oncology to be seen, to have surgery. They literally cut my leg. I got 8 inches of my legs cut open and stapled, lymph node removed. While this whole time, I kept feeling like I don't have cancer. There's no cancer in my body. I know I don't have cancer, but I was so scared and it was so reactive. And the lesson I learned through all this was you need a second opinion. And
always.
Slow down. Don't be reactive. Don't make a decision based on reactivity and emotions. Like sometimes get the information, see the doctor, but also come home to yourself on like what feels right here. And is this the direction I want to go? I got the report back. There was no cancer. And I went through all of that. Months of down. I couldn't walk. Young kids,
I know.
And praise. I didn't have cancer. Like that was incredible. But like also lesson learned. I doubted my intuition. And not one doctor knows it all.
And I think that intuition piece is so critical. Because again, if you talk to 10 women, 9 are going to have stories like this, where they have gotten a very, very clear feeling something was not right, and they pursue it, and and it turns out there's an issue, right? But a lot of them have been dismissed, disregarded, told they were crazy. Some people go 4 years to a diagnosis, particularly in autoimmune diseases, right? So, I mean, I think that you're bringing up a critical point, which is, we cannot leave our health to someone else.
Absolutely not.
You have to find partners who, and I'm not suggesting you be the doctor. I'm suggesting you listen to yourself and find the right, support system so that you can kind of get to your best health.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So powerful. So true. I agree.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. One of the things that you were talking about is, this biohacking, right? Which is all the rage now, biohacking everything. But I think it's so interesting. I mean, I don't know who is that guy that has spent like $20 million.
Oh, Brian Johnson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
$20 million or some amount like that.
Extra Brian Johnson.
Right. But I mean, I think that that we're learning so much and implementing these things that work for you. But you don't need to spend $20 million to do it. Right?
I know. Yeah. It is fun. That is the fun thing about modern day. Yes. Is that there's these technologies that can enhance health span. Not just lifespan. And, they're fun to test out. And that's where it's like, you have to balance a little bit of, the things that you want to try, but also getting back to the basics.
Right.
And the foundations,
Yeah.
sleep, hydration,
Food.
high quality food, getting
High quality
minerals in
Yeah,
your diet,
exactly.
nervous system
Yeah.
regulation, mindset, all of it. Yes.
Stress reduction.
Yes. It's so huge. Yeah.
So big.
We are all it's funny. One of our most popular patches, it's the cortisol fix.
Yeah.
And this is the one we have a ton of Aura Ring data on.
Yeah.
It really regulates the nervous system. It has it has the magnesium, ashwagandha, passion flower,
Yeah.
GABA. Like, it is powerful. And it's our number one selling patch. And I'm like, clearly we are a bunch of stressed out people in the world. We all need some cortisol patches.
Right, exactly.
But we're running 1,000,000 miles per hour. We have 1,000 tabs open, and
1,000 tabs open.
We-
That's so true. My tabs are always open.
I know it. And it's like, we're just doing and doing. And sometimes it's hard for our body to really systemically talk to itself and, enzymatically get vitamins through when it's like just in chronic stress. So just regulating and dropping in and like finding that homeostasis brings synergistic in a new way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here. This is so amazing. If people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh my gosh, yes. So you can go to www.thepatchmethod.com. You can find us on Instagram, the.patchmethod. And we actually wanted to do a fun promo for your audience. So if you DM us her table,
Okay.
we will give 20 free samples to the first 20 guests and then 20% off. So anyone that wants to try, whether it be the metabolism patch, the cortisol patch, the energy patch, we have a great Her Balance patch. So a lot of different protocols, detox patch. You can come try them out and just drop us that link.
Thank you. How generous. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for
Lindsey,
having
thanks
me.
for being here today. I
Yes, so
appreciate
great to
it.
meet you.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time on Her Table, Her Rules. Make sure you go and check out our community at hertableherrules.com and join us. We'd love to have you.